What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt activist and welcome to the channel. And today I want to talk to you about the online Scotch Whisky Awards. So let's do it. Hello and welcome to the channel. Before we begin, I want to welcome our first time viewers. Thank you for accidentally clicking on this thumbnail. Obviously, I'm doing something right. I just want to say that, if whiskey is your thing and you like to hear about whiskey reviews and different whiskey lists, whiskey rants, you like watching travel vlogs which involve whiskey, then this channel is for you. Honestly, I'm telling you, if you subscribe and hit that bell icon, you will not be disappointed. That's my promise to you. To all my returning viewers, thank you so much. I am humbled and so encouraged by the fact that you guys keep coming back and viewing the content that I put out. So that is a big boost to my ego, and keep that algorithm working. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is the online Scotch Whisky Awards. For those of you who don't know what these are, they're very, very new, started last year in 2021, primarily spearheaded by this channel called Aqvavitae, which is run by my good friend Roy, who's everything whiskey. So if you want, please check out his channel as well if you're not a subscriber. I will, in any case, put the links down in the description below for you guys. Now, he reached out to me last month. We were having a conversation back and forth about different things over email, and he reached out and he said, "Hey, would you like to be a part of this year's online Scotch Whisky Awards?" And it took all of 2.6 seconds for me to turn around and say, "Absolutely, have you gone crazy? Of course I want to be a part of this." He said, "Great." And essentially what the OSWAs, or the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, are all about is whiskeys that the community is enjoying today. Right? That's the most important thing, what the community is enjoying today. So you can't pay to be in these awards. We don't accept any samples or anything. It's just nominations of whiskeys that we as a community are enjoying today. And that's the most important thing. So anyway, so I got a huge list of whiskeys to choose from. Myself and other extremely esteemed whiskey tubers, whiskey personnel were part of this judging process where we whittled down that huge chunk of content or whiskey data into 6 final nominations over 9 categories. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. By the way, I'm in super esteemed company like Ralphie, who's the reason I think everybody started doing whiskey on YouTube, the Whiskey Tribe, Scotch Test Dummies, Malt Reviews, even my good friend G Whiskey is in there. So a lot of notable names, among them yours truly, and I'm very grateful to Roy for reaching out to me and letting me be a part of this process. Also, what you can do is have your voice heard, because there's a public poll, right? And again, I will link to everything in the description. So there's a public poll where you can go and select your favorite whiskey from each category. And on the 5th of November, all the winners will be announced on Aqvavitae's live stream. How does that sound? I think that sounds absolutely amazing. Okay, cool. So without further ado, let's dive right into the nominations. Okay, our first category is Best Value Whiskey of 2022. There are 6 whiskeys in each category, and for this category, I have this site open for me. Is the first one, in no order of preference, we have the Isle of Arran 10-year-old at 46%. We have the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old at 46.3%. We have Glencadam 10-year-old at 46%. The Kilkerran 12-year-old at 46%, and the Leitchig 10-year-old at 46.3%, and finally the Loch Lomond 12 at 46%. So these are the 6 whiskeys nominated for Best Value Whiskey for 2022. Okay, moving on. In the best blended whiskey category, we have the Black Bottle Blended Scotch Whisky at 40%. We have Compass Box Great King St. Artist Blended Scotch at 43%. We have the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition at 50%. We have Nika from the Barrel at 51.4%. We have the Thompson Brothers 6-year-old blended whiskey at 46%. And finally, we have White Heather 15-year-old blended Scotch whiskey at 46%, right? So these are the 6 whiskeys that are part of the best blended whiskeys for 2022. Our next category is best blended malt whiskey. This means these are whiskeys that are only a blend of single malt whiskeys from different distilleries and do not have any grain whiskey in them, by the way. Okay, so for this, our 6 nominations are the Campbelltown Loch blended malt at 46%. We have the Compass Box Orchard House blended malt at 46%. We have the Compass Box Peat Monster at 46%. We have the Johnny Walker Green Label 15-year-old at 43%. We have the Thompson Brothers SRV 5, which is an 8-year-old blended malt at 48.5%. And finally, we have Douglas Lang's Timorous Beastie Meet the Beast at 52.5%. I like the ABV on that. So these are the 6 whiskeys that are part of the blended malt category for 2022. Moving on to best non-malt whiskey. Non-malt whiskey, we have the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Bourbon, which is 60% plus. We have the Four Roses Single Barrel, 100% proof, 100 proof, sorry, which is 50% ABV. We have the Loch Lomond Single Grain Peated whiskey at 46%. We have the Redbreast 12-year-old cask strength at 56.3%. We have the Wild Turkey 101 Kentucky Straight Bourbon at 50.5%. And finally, we have the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Kentucky Straight Bourbon at 58.4%. So this category, unsurprisingly, I think, dominated by bourbons. We have four of them out of a possible 6. So those are your 6 nominations for best non-malt whiskey of 2022. This is a big category. This is the best distillery of 2022, and you'll notice some very unusual names in here. And I think this is the whiskey community really saying, hey, let's give these new distilleries, or these unheard of distilleries, or not as famous distilleries, a time to shine. And so you'll find some surprising names in here. So the first one is the Ardnamurchan distillery from the Western Highlands. You have on the Isle of Arran the Loch Ranza distillery. Then we of course have the Bruichladdich distillery on Islay. We have the Glen Scotia distillery from Campbelltown. We have the Loch Lomond distillery from the Highlands, and of course we have last year's winner, the Springbank distillery from Campbelltown. So an interesting mix of distilleries for this category, and I think it sort of reflects the general sentiment of the whiskey industry, which is where, like, hey, we need new and exciting whiskeys, and we're not going to nominate the old guard. We need distilleries that are pushing the envelope, both in terms of the expressions that they come out with and their overall appeal to the whiskey industry. So interesting choices here. Our next category is Best New Distillery, oh yeah, some great names in here. I've had most of them. The Ardnamurchan distillery from the Western Highlands is one. We have the Bimber distillery from London, England. I think Bimber are doing fantastic, by the way. We have Cotswolds from, again, England. So well done, England. We have the Glasgow distillery from the Lowlands. we have the Isle of Raasay distilleries from the Western Highlands. And finally, we have the Torberg distillery, also from the Western Highlands. So an interesting mix again from the new distilleries. Well done, England, for having two of your distilleries in here, Cotswolds and Bimber. I'm a big fan of both, and if you haven't tried either one, I really think you should. So good names in here, some good names. Our next category is Best Independent Bottler of 2022, and this was, this was tough pickings, by the way, because there's some fantastic names in here. We have, again, in no particular order, we have the Adelphi Selection. Of course, we have Gordon and MacPhail, just massive. We have North Star Spirits. My personal favorite, Signatory Vintage. We have the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, SMWS, another one of my favorites. And of course, we have the Thompson Brothers Independent Bottlers. So those are your nominations for Best Independent Bottler of 2022. Moving on to Best World Whiskey of 2022. Again, great representation by the English in here, because we have the Cotswolds English Single Malt at 46%. We have Dingle, which is the Irish whiskey, in here at 46.3%. We have the Macallan Solist Vino Barrique cask at 56.3%. We have the Old Forester 1922 Prohibition style. This is the high strength one at 57.5%. We have the Powers John's Lane 12-year-old single pot still, again Irish whiskey at 46%. And finally, we have the Redbreast 15-year-old pot still Irish whiskey, again at 46%. So yeah, quite an even distribution, I think. So we have an English whiskey here. I think the Irish dominate this one. We have 3 Irish whiskies out of the 6. So well done, Ireland. I thought it was going to be the English, no, but yes, sorry. So well done, Ireland. And we have Macallan from Taiwan, and we have Old Forester from Kentucky. And finally, the biggest prize of them all, the Best Scotch Whisky of 2022. Wow, so here we have, again, in no particular order, Annock, 18 years old. Wow, at 46%. We have the Ardnamurchan Cask Strength Single Malt Scotch at 58.7%. We have the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old Single Malt Scotch Whisky at 46.3%. We have the Glen Scotia Victoriana at 54.2%. We have the Kilcarran 16-year-old Single Malt at 46%. And finally, we have the Leitchegg 18-year-old Single Malt Scotch at 46.3% ABV. So there you have it, man. There you have it. These are the 6 nominations across 9 categories that I was lucky to be a part of, and in order to whittle it down to 6 whiskeys that are now open to public polling. Just literally log on to oswa.co.uk and click on the public poll link, where you'll be given access to a voting form, and all the whiskeys that I've just mentioned will be there. So feel free to nominate the one that you think is deserving of that title in that category. Make your voice heard. I think, you know, this initiative, the OSWA initiative, is an absolute beast. And you know, if you're a whiskey lover, whether you're a whiskey personality in the whiskey world, or you're just a fan, then I think it's, you know, it's almost your duty to help grow this initiative, grow these awards, because these are independent and you know, absolutely unbiased, and they really represent the voice of the community, and hence I am so proud to be a part of it. So yeah, so once again, thank you, Roy, for inviting me to be a part of this process. It is an absolute honor to be a part of it. For example, and you know, this community is growing. Last year there were maybe like about 20 people who contributed to the awards. This year I believe it's around 56. So the community is growing, the voices are growing, the judging is a lot more spread out, and hence completely, and the nominations are completely unbiased and really truly reflect the voice of the community. So once again, yes, here's the address for the OSWA site, down on my screen here somewhere. Go there, click on the nominations. You'll find the same whiskeys that we've been speaking about. You'll find them there on the site as well. Click on public poll, just enter your email address and select your nominations. And don't forget to subscribe to Aqvavitae if you haven't already, because on November 5th, I forget what time, but on November 5th, the winners will be announced via a live stream on that site. I'll be there watching, and I'll be part of the comment section, and I'd really like for you guys to be there as well. So there you go. So big feather in my hat, I feel, and I'm just really thankful and proud and humbled to be a part of this process. Thank you once again, Roy, and thank you to Ralphie as well for doing what he's done over the years to support and promote whiskey tubing around the world, and I can't be more grateful. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, and because you're going to get cool content like this. And once again, thank you for being a part of this growing family. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.